There's ROCKSTEADY at King of the Pit TV.
Yo, what's good? There's ROCKSTEADY at King of the Pit TV. Carcass. We're listening to the album Necroticism, which isn't an album I've heard referenced nor seen the artwork of since like ever. I've never seen this artwork before. This listen through is inspired by the Patreon, as I've had a recommendation to do Heartwork, and that's the fourth album, whereas this is the third, so I thought I'd bridge the gap and sort of move on in order. With that being said, we've got 8 tracks on this, relatively long songs. I am curious as to what they sound like on this record, and I'm not going to waste no further time, so give me a shout if you like Carcass. And without further ado, let's get this show on the road. In Propagation is track number 1. And we're heavy, come on.
A body is admitted to a public mortuary. Any victim of sudden or unexpected death would be brought here for a post-mortem by a pathologist. Their job is to establish the cause of death. But sometimes a body is unrecognizable. Then it's vital, especially if murder is suspected, to establish identity.
Let's go. The production is good. I like the production. I think the production is quite interesting. It's very dry and it's got a very clean sound to it. It's a very tight sound. If you are a music producer, what words would I use to describe this production? But I think in relation to the extremity, to the death metal, it comes across very well. The guitar just isn't drenched in distortion. It's got a very tight, chunky, clunky sound to it. Very crunchy. I can't make much sense out of the album cover. Heavy. Tight, experimental, very unique, and a production value that really highlights and accentuates them qualities. We're in for a treat. We're in for a treat. We're going to have plenty of good ideas, plenty of good riffs. Did you hear that chug riff? Dung, dung. That was like a Cannibal Corpse before Cannibal Corpse started doing that sort of stuff riff. That was really good. This is interesting. This is really interesting. We've got Corporal Jigsaw Quandary coming up next. So let's not cast any judgment until we continue on and sort of grasp the idea of this record. Des Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV signing in. Corporal Jigsaw Quandary is the title of this one. We're listening to Necroticism. We're not going to comment on the video too much because we're not here to watch the video. We're here to listen to the music. But In Propagation was a good tune and it had a great sound. Let's continue. Earache Records, 1991. Come on. Ba-ba-da-da-ba-da-da-ba-da-da-ba-da. Ba-da-mow. Ba-da-mow. Bruh, have they put the whole Kerry King album up? Should we react to Kerry King after this? Cool riff idea, eh? Yeah, let me give you a little bit of controversy, yeah? I reckon this band's better than Death. I reckon this band is better than Death. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da. Quality, very good. Some cool ideas. Riffing, just a lot of noodling all over the fretboard, grooving out with the drums. Is this band a three-piece? That's so cool if they're a three-piece, man. What else have I got to say? Cool little riff idea. Someone referred it to as like a stoner riff. I didn't really pick up on that too much, to be honest. I wouldn't have referred it to that myself, but yeah, some good ideas in this band. I've seen that title of this song before, Corporal Jigsaw Quandary. I don't know where I've seen it before, but people obviously do reference it as far as metal is concerned. I don't think it stood out more so than in Propagation. Maybe a little more marketable given the song length and the fact it had a music video, and that's probably the be all and end all. We've got Symposium of Sickness coming up next. Des Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV. We're listening to Carcass. We're listening to the full album Necroticism. This one is Symposium of Sickness, okay? Which is a badass song title if you ask me. Let's jump straight in.
Why I find it so amusing that
It's very poetic in nature, right? I like that. I like that. You don't have to rid of beauty because it's death metal. Away with Words is still very well enjoyed. Which is when I first came across Eaten Back to Life by Cannibal Corpse, and I looked at the pamphlet inside, and I was looking through the lyrical content. I thought, wow, like, even though it is grotesque and a bit crass, it's well written, you know. Let's go. That low end is really heavy. Come on. Let's go. Wow, wow. Ta-da-da. Someone said Carcass is a death grind band. Would you say that at this point? I feel a little bit more than death metal. But death grind, the grind is, it depends on what you perceive as grindcore, I suppose. Let's go. Bap, 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 bap. This guy, Joe Dirtbag, says, this album is my favourite Carcass, but those song intros suck. Have to skip them every time. We've got 6 responses here. Intros are the best part. Research more about them, specifically this one. And this guy says, call me crazy, but I think the music is the best part. That said, the intros, and most of all, are absolutely iconic. Cryptic, moody, implicitly clinical. They set the stage perfectly. Yeah, you know what? I agree. I agree with the initial commenter. Samples in music tend to be very egocentric. It's less thought about what the people are going to think and more to do with just sort of adding your own influence into the record, which some enjoy. But me, personally, it's very, very, very rare that I care for sampling in music. It's very rare. At least in metal music and punk music and the like, you know, Especially when it comes down to this sort of band. Like, this is alright, because this is like death metal and you're over and done with. But when you do get into grindcore, it's like the songs are 30 seconds and it's like, have you heard of the band Spaz, the power violence band? It's just like, I'd like to listen to the band, but I can't because 50%, 60% of the music is sampling. I don't care. Same with Mortician. I don't want to hear that shit. Any sort of gore grind or porno grind or this and that, I can't listen to the music. How am I going to just listen to that shite? That's my rant over and done with. I've got a personal issue with like people just going extra on the samples. I hate it. Wow, 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 wow. Nice. Oh! Clean as always. Clean as always. Tight riffs. I'm wondering what tuning they are in. C standard, I assume? Does it sound like C standard to you? Let's continue on. We've got Pedigree Butchery coming on next. I'll see you there. Yes, now bless now. There's Rocksteady at King of the Pit, King of the Pizzle TV. Pedigree Butchery is track 4 on Necroticism. Not autism. A touch of the tism. The touch of the necrotism. We're listening to Carcass. Let's go. Another sample. I assume that we got samples at the start of each song, right? Nice! Let's go. Come on. Nice little harmonies there. And that da-da-da-da-da. Very nice. Where the dead or the wall. But the bum. That's heavy, man. Da 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 da. Wow. Let's go. Na. I love how delicate that clean guitar is. When it came in at the start, where is it at the start? I love that twinkle. Is it just the one time? It only comes in the one time. That's so good. I love that little twinkle. That goes to show how mature the band has come. I know it's something so subtle, so minor, but it's a great showcase of the production value as well. Because to have that work in the midst of such ferocity, of such crushing heaviness, and still sound as bold as it does, that's really good. It's a good tune. Yeah, that's a good tune. I like the grimness of the vocals from time to time. There was a couple of vocal moments there that I really thought they popped, because generally speaking, the vocal isn't, it's not so much my cup of tea. I say that not to say it's bad. I just like a hardcore shout. I like an ignorant, tough guy vocal as opposed to like a more metal, character. We've got Incarnated Solvent Abuse coming up next. Let's keep moving. Yes, now bless now. Don't forget the rest. Now there's Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV. Incarnated Solvent Abuse is the ridiculous title of Carcass's 5th track on Necroticism. Let's go. Let's be fair, these dudes are metalheads, mate. These dudes are proper metalheads. Nice. Blah. Bap, 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 bap. Come on. Quality guitar work there. Groovy. That might be the catchier song on the record. And when I say catchier, obviously you're not singing along like it's Kylie Minogue, but a little more structured. We've got a lot of bouncing back and forth from different sections as opposed to it being a lot more progressive from A to B. I liked the contrast of the guitar work and the relatively simple drumming. Of course, we finished off with a little blast, but we had just this closed hi-hat and this incredibly simple drum beat throughout the most of it, which gave the old school grind, in my opinion. That's what gave it this dirty, gritty, ugly sound that was really good. You know, or the gore grind, should I say, as opposed to like grindcore, because it was just so simplistic. Whereas the guitar, just grungy, dirty horribleness. That was a good song. I like that one, and I like the riffs we had in there. I thought that was a good tune. Next we got Carcass Cacophony, alright? There's ROCKSTEADY at King of the Pit TV. We're listening to Carcass. We're 6 tracks into this 8-track record. Necroticism. Bruh. Carcass Cacophony is the title of this one. Let's jump in.
Remains in a beaker and a tray and a coffee pot. Bones which were being partly macerated, dissolved in a margarine container which had engine coolant in it. They smelt very oddly.
Sounds like groove metal. Sounds like Pantera. Let's go. Ba, ba, da, ba, ba, da, ba. In the related videos, we've got Cannibal Corpse's album Vile, which my mate says is probably the best Cannibal Corpse album in his opinion. We've not checked that one out yet. What do you reckon? Come on. Ba ba da ba ba da ba. Every time I hear like dual vocals like that, I always think of Deicide. I always think of Deicide. Let's go. But all right, Iron Maiden. Very good. That was Carcass Cacophony. I mentioned on the last track that blend of technical and very metal guitar work in comparison to the relatively simple and just almost cheap sounding drum kit. We've amplified it with the dings of the bell of the cymbal, I think it was on that one. That ting, 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 which goes hand in hand with the brand Carcass has of being, you know, this clinical act. That was good. That was good. We've got track 7 coming up next. I'll see you there. Let's keep going. Yes, no. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV, alright. I am wearing shorts, yes. If you want to catch a little bit of need there and you think, what's going on? Is he just recording with his shirt? Well, I could be. Who knows, eh? Lavaging Expert is track number 7. If you think I'm actually going to bother reading it, no chance. Let's move onwards. Let's go. We're listening to Carcass tonight. Track 7 of 8. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. That was good. That was a good track. And that might be the shortest one on the record at 4 minutes 4 seconds. How surprising. That was the shortest one on the track. And this is just like textbook. Carcass were doing this before though. These super long, awkward as hell, pseudo-intellectual song titles should I say, which Gorgrind just sort of ran with. Man, when I was young and in high school, I listened to a few bands, Last Days of Humanity being one of them, and bruh, the song titles were just so ridiculous. You just thinking, whoa, what is going on? It's just so detrimental. It's a bit of novelty in it. Let's finish this record off. 8th track of the record. Let's go. Des Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV, signing in and signing out on this record. Necroticism. Alright, a little bit of the tism tonight. Carcass, track 8 of 8. Forensic Clinicism / The Sanguine Article. Shall we jump straight in? Well, we would do if we didn't have a Netsy advertisement. So I'm going to say, let's go. And we're going to have a sample to finish us off, yeah? The most beautiful ending ever, says a comment. Little more old school Carcass with that vocal there, eh? Let's go. Come on. Wow. Come on. Come on. Get back into the lower denominator. Some riffs there at the end there. That was good, that. I really enjoyed that. That was a great outro. Normally, you know, they'll just throw a track on at the end and it'll just be a track for track's sake. But it feels like that was a very well resolved album. That was a good way to finish the record off. It was nice to have an actual outro that made sense. So that was good. That was good. That was Necroticism. I don't know what the hell it was. But that was good. Cool ideas. You know what? When it comes to metal music, and when it comes to music such as this, if it's consistently good or uniform for what they're trying to do, it's very hard to express a different opinion as to what I haven't done prior. And on that note, I'm going to do one last video. And that is going to be my final overview on this record. What I thought. And I'm going to rate it out of 10. And I'll see you there, people. Let's keep it moving. Yo, yes now, bless now, people. Don't forget the rest. Now, there's Rocksteady. A little bit parched. I could do with a drink, to be honest. After listening to the record and doing this review, I went to the gym, alright. I had to rush out. Get out before the shop's closed. So, right now, you're going to be joining me on a review of... Oh, shit. This is something I should have pre-planned beforehand, but here we are, people. We just listened to Carcass, didn't we? We just listened to Necroticism by Carcass. Alright, just a little bit of the tism. That's all. That's all. What did I think of the record? Do I need these headphones? Not anymore. Look at the pump, by the way. Nice little bench. Comfortable. Didn't mess around too much. Just a few sets. Just messing about. Carcass, the third album. Alright, a lot of progression in 3 albums. I gotta tell you, a lot of twists and turns. From the get-go, I'm gonna ruin the rating for you. From the get-go. I'm not gonna hype this up, I'm not gonna build this up. I think, whatever I gave Carcass's last record, I'm gonna give it the same rating. Alright? Whatever I gave Symphonies of Sickness, I'm gonna give Necroticism, which I still can't pronounce very well. Not comfortably, at least. Not confidently. There's a different sound. There's a different perspective. But both records were quality metal. It's death metal. People call it grind. There's a limitation to the grind, I would say. But yes, maybe not strictly traditional death metal. There's 8 tracks on this record. It's a blessing and a curse for a person like me, because 8 tracks is optimal on an album, in my personal opinion. Whereas over 6 minutes for so many tracks. We've got 2 songs over 7 minutes. That's too long for me. I'd listen to Dream Theater if I wanted that. That's too long. My attention span can't handle that. So that's my opinion as far as the lengths are concerned. Production-wise, this is a great record. I like the production. I was going to say love, but I'll hold love back for a moment. I like this production a lot because the sound engineering is just really good for this particular sound. It's got incredible clarity. The guitars are not just blowing your head up with this frazzled, distorted hellscape. There is a tightness to the record, precision to the sounds we're hearing, and a great separation of the instrumentation, and I like that a lot. I like that a lot. There's no extremity with the production, which allows you to really hear the instrumentation. It allows you to really hear that the band is an extreme metal band without it having to be forced onto you with this studio magic. Instrumentally, we've got some great riffs, we've got some unique riffing. The drumming is relatively basic, and I like that. I think that's where that gore grind comes in. You know? Or as far as grind is concerned, that's the punk rock. Just a tinny ting on the, sorry people, I'm trying to get my shoes off here. That tinny tin off of the cymbals, closed hi-hats, that gives it that sort of weird edge that we get in these grind acts. This weird, awkward crossover of sound. And I like it a lot. I like it a lot. We'll have these relatively intricate guitars, whilst the drummers just... Maybe not to that particular rhythm, but you know where I'm coming from. Very basic and very good. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I can't necessarily differentiate one song from the other at this moment from first listen, but I can tell you Incarnated Solvent Abuse was probably their attempt at, or subconsciously composing something a little more listenable, per se, purely as structurally speaking. We bounce back and forth from a few ideas several times, few riffs, few sections, as opposed to progressively going from A to B. I got recommended this because somebody wanted me to do Heartwork on the Patreon, and I thought, you know what, we did the last record, Heartwork's the 4th record, we'll bridge the gap with this record, and it was worthwhile. So now I'm really looking forward to Heartwork and what that has to offer, and we're going to go from there. So I'm going to do another video where we have a look at the history surrounding this album, and I'll see you there, people. Peace. Yes, now bless now, people. Don't forget to rest now. There's ROCKSTEADY, King of the Pit TV. I'll see you in 1 second as I just make this screen a little smaller. Hold on. Here we are. Right. We just listened to Necroticism. I cannot pronounce it, so the first part of this video is going to be me trying to spell it, and that is, well, me trying to pronounce it, and that is going to be Necroticism. Necroticism. And this is the very first time throughout the entire listen from, I'm going to call it by its entire record name, Necroticism, Descanting the Insalubrious Horrible album title. Horrible album title. But let's move on. I enjoyed this record. I thought it was a good record. If you want to hear my full thoughts, check out the review I did. Check out my track-by-track reaction. Okay? So let's have a look at some information. It is Wikipedia, so if it's incorrect, not my problem, but please leave a comment down below correcting the information or disputing such. This album is the third album by British extreme metal band. The Brits do it best. The Brits do it best. The English do it best. Where are these bands from? Lancashire. A lot of good music, a lot of good acts from Lancashire, alright? Just next door to me. The third album by British extreme metal band Carcass. It was released on the 30th of October. And I'll tell you one thing, right? Being local, I see a lot of Napalm Death. But I see near to no Carcass. Carcass performed here last year, but you rarely see Carcass popping about. We see Discharge all the time. We see, Napalm Death, relatively common. We see some classic acts, because they're on our doorstep, but Carcass is quite elusive. This album is the first to feature guitarist Michael Amott and marked the first time Carcass had recorded as a 4-piece. Interesting. So I was curious as to why there was 4 individuals on the cover, thinking it was only a 3-piece. And it makes sense with all the guitar soloing. Many of the tracks describe economical ways to dispose of dead bodies. Necroticism, I hope I don't have to say this much, I'm just going to call it the album. The album continues to move forward towards a predominant death metal sound which was started in Symphonies of Sickness, featuring songs. I actually think they strayed away from the traditional death metal sound a little more, as opposed to Symphonies of Sickness, in my personal opinion. Am I wrong in saying that? Featuring songs with longer sections and complex structures, more akin to the then burgeoning tech death subgenre. With this band's imagery and so forth, I think tech death would suit them. The album was originally released on 21st of October 91 through Earache. This album was re-released in 2008 as part of an ongoing series of Carcass reissues to tie in with their reunion. The main album is presented as one side of a dual disc, whereas the DVD side features the third part of an extended documentary titled The Pathologist's Report Part 3, Mass Infection. I hate shit like that. Like that whole prog rock Part 3, Part 2, and then some like deepness to it. It's just give me a catchy title, man. I hate it. And the 23-minute interview with Walker and Amott from 93, recorded on the Gods of Grind tour. Later editions of the reissue contain the album on a CD and documentary on a separate DVD. Also included in the reissue is a set of 4 art cards. The reissue is presented in 12-panel digipack with full lyrics and artwork. Cool. Right, let's have a look at some factoids. So it was released in 91 in Europe and 92 in North America. Recorded in 91 at Amazon Studios in Simmons Wood, Lancashire. I don't know where the hell that is. Genre, death metal, tech death. It's been classified as tech death, which, what do you say? I wouldn't say so literally. But hey, each to their own. 48 minutes long, so quite a long record. Quite a long record, especially considering there's only 8 tracks. It got put out in Earache and Relativity, which is surprising because I swear another label had it uploaded onto the YouTube. I forgot which. Producer Colin Richardson, who has also done, let's have a look. He's worked on over 100 albums and is most frequently associated with heavy metal. He didn't tell you. So, musical style. Ken Owen and Jeff Walker said during the documentary that they reject. See, that's why it's a shit title, because I don't even want to bother reading it. You know what I mean? You don't want to sell it to your mate, do you? Just, oh, you need to check this documentary. Oh, what's it called? Oh, it's called The Pathologist's Report Part 3, Mass Infection. It's fucking stupid, man. That they rejected the descriptions of Carcass's music on this album being grindcore, while Owen acknowledges its death metal characteristics. Yeah, I don't necessarily consider it grind. Both he and Walker expressed, but it's a different time back then, wasn't it? Both he and Walker expressed that they might inclined towards calling their music on this album progressive. Yeah, fair play. I hate progressive though. I think progressive, I'm using a lot of hateful shit here. There's a lot of stuff that winds me up in this particular genre of things. I think progressive is too synonymous with like old person stuff. The term progressive is just sort of detracts from extremity, you know? Reception, All Music gave Necroticism to 4 out of 5 stars. Not the tour, 4 out of 5 stars, stating that the worthy addition of Michael Amott made the record an excellent guitarist album. What else is Michael in? Shall we see? Swedish guitarist, member of Arch Enemy, Spiritual Beggars and Carnage, and he was a former member of Carcass, so he went to leave and play in Arch Enemy. Fair play, fit women in Arch Enemy, ain't there? So Kerrang notably, musician. Kerrang notably gave the album a perfect score on their 364th magazine issue. Metal Storm gave it a 9.6 out of 10, calling it a masterpiece and a transitional album that every metalhead should own, melodic or extreme, and suggested that people should buy the album immediately. How much were they getting paid? That's crazy. 9.6 out of 10. Pooh. Accolades. In 2005, the album was ranked 294 in Rock Hard magazine's Book of the 500 Greatest Rock and Albums of All Time. In 2005, it was inducted into the Decibel Magazine Hall of Fame, being the 8th album overall to be featured in the Hall of Fame. All Music gave it 4 out of 5. Collector's Guide to Heavy Metal, 6 out of 10. Kerrang, 5 out of 5. Metal Storm, 9.6 out of 10. Rock Hard, 8.5 out of 10. People loved it. The ratings were sky high, which is insane, really, when you think about where the band derived, like their debut and just like the wackiness of the sound, and now these critics are just ranting and raving about this product. So we've actually got bonus tracks in the dual disc, which I didn't touch because the playlist didn't have them. Tools of the Trade, Still Rotten to the Core, and Hepatic Tissue for mention too. That sucks. I wish I saw the whole thing. And with the whole thing, it comes at 60 minutes, which is one of the longer records we would have checked out. Already at 48 minutes, it's quite long. Jeffrey Walker, bass and vocals. Bill Steer, guitars and vocals. Ken Owen, drums, additional vocals. Michael Amott, guitars, additional vocals. Everybody playing part on the vocals there. Production, we got to give a rating to Colin Richardson, because I think Colin did a fantastic job. Carcass on the mixing, Keith Hartley engineering, Ian McFarlane assistants, Dave Buckman assistant, John Paul remastering, visual art, Carcass on the cover art. Carcass, you did a terrible job on the cover art. Sorry to break it to you. The cover art shit. I couldn't make sense out of it. I had plenty of time to look at the cover art and I could not make sense out of it, which means it's good artwork. Don't get me wrong, it's good artwork because it gets you thinking, but it didn't emotionally touch me. So, swings and roundabouts, I guess. But there you go. And now we're going to move on to more Carcass. We're going to do Heartwork next. So I'll see you on the flip side, people. Peace.